TiC Summit learning courses. This is part of the learning materials that we recommend students, participants of the TiC Summit to use in order to enhance and better produce good submissions. So today, our lesson is going to focus on design thinking. What is design thinking? Design thinking is a non-linear process that helps teams to understand the problem, to challenge assumptions, to be able to create innovative solutions. And today, we are going to be discovering the 5 steps of design thinking to help TiC teams, the teams that are participating in the TiC Summit, better enhance and better produce great submissions. Everyone designs. Everyone is a designer. Anybody that changes a course of action in order to produce a better result or to create a better scenario or to create a better experience is a designer. Therefore, design thinking is for everyone. Today, we are going to be exploring the 5 steps that help you ameliorate the user's experience, that help you create innovative solutions. The first step is empathize. Empathize. What is empathize? What is the use? What does empathization or to empathize stands for? It is understanding the user scenario. That is putting yourself in the shoes of the users, trying to get to the people whom your solution is designed for, to understand what exactly is the problem we face. And you can do this at this stage. There are some tools and techniques that can be used to understand the user's experience. Some of these tools are interviews, some of these tools are questionnaires, some of these tools are surveys and research, where we get to know our users better. We get to be in their shoes, to experience what they experience and better understand the problem which is being faced here. Yeah. So as we're saying, under the empathy phase, you have to conduct interviews. You can produce questionnaires. You can carry out surveys, or you can simply do some research on the internet. These are various techniques that can help you better understand the user experience, better understand the user scenario, and better understand the problem which you want to solve. Like the quote says, a problem well understood is 50% solved. Now, what do you do next after you've understood the situation, you've understood the problem that you've been faced with? Define. Define a problem statement. The next step is define. Define a problem statement. After you have understood the problem, understood the user experience, it's now time to define the problem. It's now time to bring together what are the user's needs and the problems the user are facing. You analyze and reflect on the experience you went through, the interviews you conducted, the research you did, and state the needs of the users in an accurate manner. And one way in which we can do this is by stating a problem statement. The problem statement happens in the define stage. In this stage, that's where you clearly put out what exactly are the user's needs and problems. After clearly defining the problem statement and understanding clearly what it is that you are solving, the next step is ideation. You have to generate so many ideas that come to solve this problem. This is a stage where we encourage you to think outside the box, to think like a 3-year-old child who doesn't know the word impossible. We encourage you to think as wide and as far as possible. In this process, you come up with several ideas which could be remedy to the problem. After having brainstormed on several ideas that could possibly solve this problem, the next step is to start creating solutions. This is the prototyping stage. Prototyping stage. In the prototyping stage, what is required of you? This is where you are supposed to build a minimum valuable product that somehow solves the need to the lowest level of your users. This is where you bring up creative, you try to implement some of the ideas you generated in the ideation stage. You observe the ideas, you see which one is easily implementable, you implement one of these ideas. It could be a paper prototype. A paper prototype is simply a drawing of or a representation on a paper of your idea. You could do depending on what you are building, it can be an app. You can do a drawing of the app with the different screens. If it's a website, you can do the wireframe of the website. You can build the low fidelity version of the website or of the app, depending on what you're doing. If it's an electronic circuit, you could build the circuitry, you could draw the circuitry on a piece of paper, you could do all what is possible to have a minimum representation, a low cost version of your product, which is aimed at solving the user's problem. This is what the prototyping stage comprises of. Now, after you've done your prototype, the next thing is put your prototype in the hands of your users. This brings us to the fifth stage, which is testing. The aim of testing is to receive feedback. We define you producing a solution, producing a product for particular people to solve a particular need. Therefore, it is important to put this product in their hands as early as possible to receive their feedback, and this feedback will help you iterate on the design thinking process. It should be noted that design thinking is a non-linear process, which means you mustn't do step 1 before you do step 2, before 3 and 5. No, you start from any of the stages, depending on at which stage you are on your design process. You might already be developing your prototype, which is good. Now, once you develop a low fidelity prototype, let's take an example, you develop a paper prototype, put the paper prototype out there, talk to some people, a family member, a neighbor, who might possibly use the solution. He receive the feedback he gives you, and then come back and see, based on the feedback you receive, do you need to ideate more? Do you need to redefine the problem? Do you need to understand back the solution, or understand the user problem? What are based on the feedback you receive, at what stage of the design thinking do you need to revisit? That's why design thinking is a non-linear process. Also, the feedback helps you guide you if you're moving in the right direction, if you're actually producing a solution. People will need, or a solution, people will use. Therefore, the testing part can come in between any of these stages. And the testing part can also be applied even after you produce a good physical, functional prototype. You take this prototype still to people, they use it and they give you their feedback. Based on this, you iterate and you improve your product. Design thinking, it's all about creating a better experience for your users, and it is a problem-solving methodology. Design thinking is all about focusing on the user outcome. It helps you focus on the result you want to give, and the result you want to give at the end of the user. And in summary, or in conclusion, we can say design thinking is about observing your environment, observing the environment that surrounds the problem, understanding this problem, reflecting on the problem, making a solution, and repeating based on the feedback you receive from your users. So that will be it for the video today on design thinking course for the TiC Summit participants. You are going to be receiving a series of videos like this in the upcoming days. The next video is going to be on pitching. We are going to have another series of videos that's going to tell you exactly how you should pitch your project. And we also have videos on using MIT App Inventor, building low fidelity websites, paper prototypes, and so forth. So stay tuned to our Facebook page, stay tuned to our YouTube channel, stay tuned as we keep you updated on the TiC Summit.